Welcome students, this is the 33rd class on digital land surveying and mapping. Today I am going to discuss in this class on the software to be used for mapping. Now this class will be discussed under the following heads: introduction, followed by mapping software, and I will take up only 3 softwares because there are so many softwares available. It is very difficult to discuss all the softwares. As a sample, I have taken 3 softwares which may be used for mapping purpose, then followed by summary and review question. Now the objective of surveying is to prepare the plan or map, as we all know, and the map may be drafted by making use of computer through software as well as a plotter having multiple pen. Nowadays it is a very commonplace to get the map prepared through automated software. So an automated mapping and computer design and drafting systems are commonplace for map drafting nowadays. The reason behind is that we will have many advantages in going for automated mapping. The most important advantage is that we can carry out the mapping very quickly. The speed of preparation of map will be very high, as well as the accuracy of mapping will be more than what we can achieve using manual method. We can edit our map, or during preparation of map, editing work can be done very quickly and easily. Then the output from automated mapping will be consistent, because once all the parameters, all the issues has been resolved and we do go for mapping, then the replica of mapping will be same, and so the quick reproduction we can do. Even it will be very easy to store and to retrieve. For production it is easy. We can transfer the digital map from one place to another very easily, quickly and economically. So all these make the use of computer software for our mapping work. Actually we make use of a system consisting of the computer, display unit, then input unit like keyboard or mouse, then our output plotter. All these make along with the different softwares, all these make the system for automated mapping. However, for mapping it is the software which is most important. So we are trying to emphasize on the part software in this class, because software is the part, or through software only we will be able to, operator will be able to interact with the hardware and to activate the different functions of the system. So it is the software packages for mapping which are important, and that has to be discussed, known properly. So we are having this class. The automated mapping or the computer aided drafting software enables drafting of manuscripts. So now the different things which our automated mapping or drafting software allows us to do. First, we can go for the preparation of manuscript. As soon as manuscript means as soon as we will get the data, we can go for a rough map from the data, and that may be prepared also in real time. So once the manuscript has been done, then we can go for display of it, then we can go for display of it, then through software. Now by displaying we will be able to know really what is the quality, what is the representation, whether it is representation is okay for our purpose or not, whether really what we will like to have is satisfied or not, or all the data is available or not. So everything we will be able to have a feeling about the map to be prepared, and if we need to edit, if we want to add, if we want to delete any of the features, any of the data, or any of the information, features, data, information, if we want to edit or delete or add, we can do easily using our software. And then if any part of the manuscript has to be taken care more, we can take care of that through zooming. So we can do the zooming, and then we can see whether that particular part for which we need more attention, information, features or data, editing or enlargement, everything can be done. Then and this thing we can do repeatedly, easily, that is the most important thing. And then we can check whatever is the final, that is meeting to our need or not, or whether it is complete, whether it is accurate. So all those testing, completeness, accuracy, everything we can check from that. Now once we see that if it is not complete or it is not accurate, then also we can again redo all our work quite easily and with little trouble, and ultimately we will be satisfied with that our map preparation is complete and it is accurate. If it is complete and accurate, then we will go for its production or printing, and that can be done, production or printing, that it can be done by using multi-pen plotter. So all these steps, whatever, that means manuscript, that means first data, the upload or data to the software, upload to software, and then from the data available we have to go for manuscript preparation, and then to display, to find out whether our manuscript has been prepared is okay or not, all the data has been displayed or not, all the information is available or not, all the features are available or not. If not, if there may be some excess information, so we can delete it. If there is little information, we can add it. If we want to change the information, its font, its size, its color and so many other things, then we can edit. If we want to take the special care of certain portion of the manuscript, then we can zoom it and then we do the thing whatever we want to do, and this thing we can do repeatedly till we are satisfied with its completeness, and also we should see whether our map is accurate or not. If we find that the map is accurate and it is completely what we are expected to have, then we go for production. So all these steps can be done by using a software, and more or less all the softwares which we will make use will have all these facilities. So all these activities are done by each software. With this type of facilities and many other extra facilities, many integration and many other ways, how different ways how it can be done. So in that way there are so many softwares are available. So nowadays we will find that there are so many softwares available which may be useful for drafting or purpose, for mapping purpose, and of the many software specifically produced for drafting of map. Some of them only partially include the module of map, it also does some other work like design work, sometimes some other work. Some software which we may use to generate map using defined functionalities, but finally all the software will be useful for mapping, making a map. and of course each software will have its own advantages and disadvantages, and every software has its own domain of applications where it will be more useful or convenient to use. So we need to know before we go for any software to be chosen for making a map, we should know what are the possibilities available, which software is having what type of functionalities, what is the need for our work, and then we should match which software should be the best for our particular purpose. But there is no such review we can really get which will give us a comparative evaluation for all the softwares available. However, there are some basic categories of software, as I told you that some softwares are directly useful only for mapping purpose. We will carry out some other works, also do the mapping work, and for some it is the generation of map from different modules available. And these maybe there are some popular software which we generally make use for making the map in the surveying map, like Surfer, AutoCAD, 3D Civil, Carlson, GIS, etc. So mapping software, I will like to discuss on these softwares little bit just to have a feeling about the type of software. But one thing is that most of the software basically have the capability or the based on the AutoCAD. That means the how to, and AutoCAD is the software which basically helps us to plot, point, line, polygon, and we can make use of these three primary unit to do so many other work. So AutoCAD actually basically a software which is used for design purpose, but also AutoCAD can be used for our mapping work. So many of the many software we can found that basically it has borrowed the working of AutoCAD principle. Like one of them is like Carlson. Carlson is a software, application software for surveying, and it is basically runs with AutoCAD and Intelligent CAD. So these are AutoCAD is the basis of Carlson software, where CAD engine serves as the graphics engine and drawing editor for Carlson. So you can see that CAD engine is the basis for Carlson software, which we can make use for survey mapping work. And also within the Carlson there is a command called retrieval map command, through which we can select from a list of Esri ArcGIS map services or user defined main services from other public and private sources. So using this retrieve map commands we can make use of some facilities already available around, and using that we can do our automated mapping work. So Carlson is one of the popular software among the civil engineers which we make use for mapping work. Another software which you can be used indirectly for our mapping purpose, that is the GIS software. So we know that there are many GIS softwares available in the market like ArcGIS, QGIS, Geomedia, MapInfo Professional, Global Mapper, MapViewer, etc., etc. So a plethora of GIS softwares are available. These GIS software actually have the layers of information, and if we put together all the layers of information, that itself will generate the map. So GIS software is a very powerful tool for making maps, and GIS may have independent tool to prepare a map, or there may be combination of tools to prepare a map. So in case of ArcGIS, ArcMap is a module present in ArcGIS which may be used for mapping. So this is an example I have taken how ArcMap or how a single module or how a module from a GIS packages may be useful. So about the ArcMap, these are the different attributes which we define in ArcMap, that ArcMap may be started in different ways. So you can see that inside the ArcMap GIS software we may activate the ArcMap, or from outside the ArcMap GIS also we may activate the ArcMap. So it may be independent of GIS module, or it may be an integral part of the GIS. So this is the very important facility. Then the map swapping software can access the data automatically. So for data we need not to prepare independently, or it can be anywhere. So and the mapping software can get access to the data directly. Then it can manage and organize different files. Also we can categorize our data as per our need, or as per our observation, or many other criteria we can take, and we can keep it in different files, and all those files can be managed as well as organized by the mapping software. Now once the data has been uploaded and that our manuscript type of map has been prepared, then we can display, and once it is displayed we can navigate in the map to see to test whether the map is of our desired quality or not, or that all the attributes are available there, or whatever features we want to show is there or not. So to navigate in the map is possible through the ArcMap. Then we can identify the different attributes also. So there is an automatic process, there is some functionalities available which will help us to identify attribute. We can select, the mapping software has the capability to select some features. Then editing map symbols, we can edit the different symbols of the map which we use. Then we can manage and save data. Then we can create map packages. Then we can save and store files. So all these things we can do by using the mapping ArcMap software. That means which is a sample type of module I had taken into care of. So with most of the GIS software that type of modules are available. That means using that modules we can do all these work using a GIS software. And many times also we can prepare the contour map by simply preparing the DEM of the area, because DEM is a feature which a GIS software easily forms. So from DEM we can directly get the contour of the area, which is quite popular among the surveyors, so we can do it. So ArcMap is a mapping software that is available with the ArcGIS. Similar type of mapping modules or software is available also in other type of GIS. So we can make use of GIS for mapping of our survey work. Another software which is also very popular among the surveyors or the art scientists is the SURFR. Actually SURFR, it does not provide us the map, but it provides us the surface of the art surface. It provides the contours. So SURFR is a very powerful package to represent the outer surface of the earth, and from there we can also get the contours. Now this software actually a grid based mapping program that interpolates regularly spaced XYZ data in a regular space grid. Actually it is a grid based software. Now grids may also be imported from other sources. So to prepare the map or contour map or the surface of the earth map, we may import the grid from somewhere else, and then on that grid we may place our data points, and it helps in preparing different types of map like contour map, vector map, image shaded relief and all these things. Many gridding and mapping options are available, allowing to produce the map that best represents the data. Means whenever we go for grid preparation, there will be defined ways, we need many times we need defined ways to be represented, and this software has the options. So, we can go for it. An extensive suite of gridding methods is available in the surfer. Variety of available methods also available for interpreting the data and allows to choose the most appropriate one needs. Interpolation is another important thing which can be done by making use of these surfers. Data matrix allows to gather information about the gridded data. Now from the using the software, the surface area, projected planar area, volumetric condition all can be performed directly. Then we can also get the cross sectional profile, which is also important in many cases. Then we can also surfer can also edit, combine, filter, slice, query, mathematically transform grid files, and it is, as I already told, that surfer is used for contouring, gridding and surface mapping, and the maps can be customized to produce presentation as one requires. Also surfer has the multiple map layers, customizing the map display and annotating with text of publication quality maps. So all these capabilities have surfer. So surfer we can also think of surfer to use for our mapping purpose. Now the surfer package contains basically 3 document window types. One is that plot document where the maps are created and displayed, worksheet document which displays, edits, transforms and saves data in tabular format, and grid node editor displays and edit Z values for the selected grid. So these are the 3 modes or 3 document windows that the surfer displays. So we can, depending upon what type of work we want to do, we can open that window, or also sometimes we can also open 2 or 3, all the 3 windows together for our work. Now surfer plot window with the object manager on the left and worksheet and grid nodes editor tab on the top of the horizontal ruler is as shown in figure. So here is the a typical surfer package open, windows open. Now here you can see that object manager, this is the object manager, and this is the property manager, this is the status bar, and this is the plot window. As I told you, plot window, plot documents window, maps are created and displayed. So this is the plot document window. Then worksheet documents, so you can see here this is the worksheet documents, worksheet documents. So this is a typical window opened. So I have shown you this is the surfer, so we can make use of this for our contouring. So with this I like to conclude today's class. After we have collected the data from the field during surveying, we need to first reduce it, and the reduced data has to be displayed in the form of a map. So before we go for map preparation, actually we need to go for identification of the mapping software through which we will like to prepare our map, because the data to be reduced from field observation should be in the format that the software to be used for mapping compatible. So and also we know that the automated mapping is a very popular nowadays because of its numerous advantages, like we can prepare the map very quickly, we can get we can edit our map easily, we can add, delete or change the features easily, we can reproduce the data easily, it can be stored easily. So, there are so many facilities which the automated mapping provides over the manual mapping. So, nowadays we go for automated mapping. Now, most of the automated mapping has the same more or less similar type of functional abilities, like first it prepares, once the data has been given to the data has been put to the software, it prepares the manuscript, then the manuscript gets displayed to find out whether the prepared initial prepared map is draft prepared map is of our quality or not, or whether all the data to be displayed is present there, whether all the features which we will want to go get there is available there or not. So, once all those thing comes up, then we may even need to add more information, we may need to delete some information, we may need to edit some information. All those things can be done easily in case of automated mapping, and this process can be done repeatedly till we find that the map prepared is of our quality as well as it is complete, whatever we want to represent, it is there. So, once it is there, then we can go for its printing or plotting. So, this is the basic cycles of working of any software packages, which most of the packages can do, but in spite of that the most of the packages, software packages has developed with its own objective. Some packages are for only mapping purpose, some for some carries out the mapping, but that is as an additive module. Using some packages we can prepare the map indirectly. So, however, each and every package has its own advantages and disadvantages. So, before we start mapping work, we need to know really which mapping software we will like to have, and accordingly we should go for our map data preparation, and we end up with a good solution with automated mapping. So, with this I like to conclude today's class, and the next class I will like to discuss about the different steps that has to be taken or done in automated mapping. Thank you.